Welcome to Aphra's Artifacts, where we do some archaeology of our own and dig into the queer side of Star Wars. I'm your host, Alyssa Wong, and it's so great to have you here. Happy New Year, everybody! Happy 2023! I have so many exciting high hopes for this year with school, with Aphra's Artifacts, with all sorts of different things. Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great year. Fingers crossed. So excuse me if I'm a little sniffly. I have been sick for the past week. It's just been the common cold, but it has been the common cold from hell. So forgive that. But today I did want to talk about Dr. Aphra number 23, Machinations. So this issue, again, came out a while ago. Apologies for still catching up, but I will be catching up and I will get caught up soon. Especially since 5 episodes from now will be episode 100. Can you believe I've had 95, now 96 episodes of Aphra's Artifacts? I'm like, it's blowing my mind. I can't believe it. So I did do a poll on the YouTube channel, and it came out that most people want me to do a panel of queer Star Wars fans. So if you are a queer Star Wars fan and you would like to be on an episode of Aphra's Artifacts, please, please, please reach out to me, DM me, at Alyssa Wong on Twitter, and I will work it out because I want a wide variety of people. I'd love to have new people on the show. I think it would be really, really wonderful. So DM me at Alyssa Wong if you're interested in being on a panel just discussing queer Star Wars. So back to today's episode, Dr. Aphra number 23, Machinations. Written by Alyssa Wong, illustrated by Minkyu Jung and Rachelle Rosenberg. So we left off issue number 22 with the spark-possessed Aphra having arrived on the Vermilion, Crimson Dawn's fortress flagship. We start off this issue, number 23, appropriate, with the spark-possessed Aphra sneaking up on and then conversing with the archivist, who recognizes the entity for what it is, the Spark Eternal. So remember the archivist is the lady with the dreads, with the gray dreads, and she looks real creepy. So she just looks kind of evil and kind of creepy, but she's not really either. But she sees Aphra as what she is, the Spark Eternal, and immediately is like, what do you want? And of course, Aphra, or rather, Spark Eternal possessed Aphra says everything with sparks coming from her fingers, and there's a lot of power in that Spark Eternal. So Sana Staros gets together a group of people that are connected to Aphra, people we're all familiar with, and takes them to the secret rebel rendezvous to convince Magna Tolvin to help the crew find and stop the Spark Eternal and maybe save Aphra in the process. Magna is not happy with the situation. She's pretty pissed that Sana wants her to help Aphra, who pretty much destroyed her life. Although Aphra is the person who eventually caused her to be led to the rebellion, so I don't know. I love Magna and Aphra. Their love was so deep and so strong and so freaking intense. It was like a wildfire. So I just love that Sana's reaching out to Magna. Both exes of Aphra trying to help Aphra. Because she may be a rogue. She may be a complete and utter mess. And kind of a bad person at times, but she's so lovable. So Magna is talking to the group, and she's like, okay, by your own admissions, you are, first she's speaking of Eustacia Oka, a disgraced professor of occult archaeology and another of Chelly's exes. Then second, Detta Yao, a grad student with a history of betrayals who even stabbed Chelly in the back. Third, Corin Aphra, Chelly's father. Hello, sir. You look well. Hello, Magna. That panel is so great because he's just like, hey. And she's like, you look good. Whereas the others, she's just like, oh my gosh. Fourth, Kofan Ferris, of course. And a serial killer? And Ko says, well... So it's a ragtag group. And at first, Magna's not having any of it. But after some coercion, including, get this, Sana flirting with Magna. Whoa, what? When did that happen? I mean, it's interesting, and I kind of want to see where it goes, but like, whoa, out of nowhere, at least, unless you can write in the comments where it came from. I'd love to see that, but I had no clue that Magna and Sana had any sort of romantic interest in each other. So, Magna finally gives in after Sana reaches out to her and says, Magna, wait, please. I know Aphra's a mess, but she told me what happened between you two. How she betrayed Vader to protect the rebellion. And you. She loved you. And I know you loved her too. Please, Magna, help us help her. Do it for the person you fell in love with. My heart. But then is when it gets weird. And if you can't do it for her, do it for me. As Sana grabs Magna's hand and pulls it to her chest. And it's so funny because the next panel is the 4 people on the crew just kind of looking aghast at what is going on. Like, what? And Ko is saying, oh. And Detta's like, yeah. It's such a cute panel. So then Magna says, this isn't fair. And Sana says, nope. And Magna just goes, fine, I'm in. She's like, whatever, let's do this. So they set off to find Aphra and the Spark Eternal. So then we see Just Lucky and Ariel, who are now working together despite all the bad blood between the two ex-lovers. And they are headed to Crimson Dawn with their crew from the Rings of Vale fiasco. So they figure Crimson Dawn would know where to find Aphra. Then we go back to Sana and her crew, and they land on Biruke, which is a gorgeous looking planet. It has all these bright purples and bright blues and just really pretty colors. And it appears a massacre of Crimson Dawners has taken place on the beach. So as they go deeper into the past the beach into the forest or the area around the beach, they end up fighting against a lot of people that they assume to be part of a plot to protect some asset of Aphra's. Well, apparently it was actually a trap all along. And the way they find out it's a trap is that BT1 and 000 are at the end of their trail. Standing there, BT1 has this silly hat on his head, and 000 has like a scarf around his neck. It's wacko. And they have, all their extensions out. So the 2 nasty murder droids are right in front of them. And who is the trap for? That's what I want to know. Like, what is going to happen now? So, crazy, crazy stuff. I am really looking forward to issue number 24. I think it's going to be really great. I love the progression this has taken. Alyssa Wong is a genius. Minkyu Jung and Rachelle Rosenberg are beautiful artists. This has been a really great ride. So I'm super looking forward to where it all goes from here. So comment down below what you thought about this issue. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who do you think the trap was for? What do you think the trap was for? I'd love to know. And again, if you saw written in the stars something between Magna and Sana, let me know, because seriously, that came out of nowhere for me. So remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at Alyssa Morgan. And remember, if you'd like to be part of the Queer Fan Star Wars panel for episode 100, which will probably come out in February sometime, then please, please, please DM me on Twitter at Alyssa Morgan. And you can read my blog at thestarsreview.blogspot.com. So thank you guys. See you next week, and may the Force be with you.